All right, guys, the Utah Jazz get a huge win against the San Antonio Spurs. This is the SLC Dunk post-game show, and I'm your host, Hanson James. This is a huge victory for the Utah Jazz, who had lost 7 of their last 8, and we're coming into this game with a lot of injuries, and it's just huge. This might be a season-changing game for the Utah Jazz, who are just honestly tapering off. Before we talk more about the Jazz, I want to talk about the Spurs. I just want to tell Spurs fans just how much I respect your team, your coach, your organization, everything about the Spurs. Honestly, the Jazz are just trying to emulate what the Spurs are and do on a regular basis and have that championship pedigree and mentality and culture and everything about the Spurs the Jazz are trying to emulate. I love what the Spurs do. It's like tonight I expected the Jazz to just get blown out because of just how good the Spurs are, how prepared they are with Popovich and the coaching staff he puts together. They're just a machine that just destroys other teams, and so that's why I was kind of shocked tonight that the Jazz actually got a win against the Spurs, who honestly I know I and a lot of Jazz fans have tons of respect for everything that they do, Greg Popovich, R.C. Buford, and everyone. So it was nice to see that Kawhi Leonard is back. I noticed that Manu wasn't in the game today, and so it was nice to see Kawhi Leonard back. I really feel like for the Spurs, they just don't get the attention that they really deserve. The things that the Spurs did without Kawhi Leonard this year and all the wins they were able to accumulate is just so impressive. To be able to be not just like get by or just be barely above 500, but to be just flourishing with a huge record and third in the West, I think, right now. And so really incredible team the Spurs have, and everything they do is great. Very nothing but respect for me for the Spurs organization. The game tonight, they looked tired. It was a back end of a back-to-back for the Spurs, also back end of the back-to-back for the Jazz. The Jazz played their third game in 4 nights. That's why I just, it's not surprising that it was kind of a slug fest, and the Jazz kind of just pulled away throughout the game, and at the very end were able to just pull away and get a nice, not just a great win for the Jazz. This is the type of win for the Utah Jazz that could turn their season around. The Jazz have lost 7 of their last 8. They lost Donovan Mitchell for 2 games now. Kind of just frustrating for the Jazz right now that they've had this terrible month. They've had injuries with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Raul Neto had the concussion. Derek Favors had the 6 stitches in his eye. So, I mean, I was not expecting anything. I was at the game tonight screaming my heart out. That's why my voice is gone. But anyways, before I talk about it, I just wanted to say again, the Spurs are incredible. The Jazz, if anything, are just trying to become what the Spurs are, and that's why the Jazz are becoming great. We took your coach from the Austin Toros, and he's turning out to be really good for Utah. For the Jazz, the big name you'll hear in this game is honestly Rodney Hood, who exploded in this game. He was phenomenal. He had one of those Rodney Hood games. Probably get 2 or 3 of those a year where Rodney just gets hot and just wins you a game because he drops 30. Tonight he dropped 29. And it just looked like every time he was going to shoot it, it was going in. And it pretty much did. He just really carried the Jazz offense and got them buckets when they needed to. A few nice things from this game, too, offensively. Joe Johnson had a 3-pointer. I think he had 2. I can't remember. But those might be like the first 2 3-pointers he's made since literally the beginning of the year because of his injury and the slump he started the year with, which was so bad. Joe Johnson has been slumping so badly. And so if the Jazz can get Joe Johnson back where he's at the very least hitting 3-pointers for them and getting some inside buckets, he had a nice turnaround jumper. That's great because the Jazz honestly have times where they just need someone to get a bucket, and Joe Johnson can do that for them. He's not what he used to be, and he might not even be what he was last year for the Jazz, but it was just nice to see Joe Johnson get a bucket. You know who else was huge for the Jazz? Their bigs. So Derek Favors and Epe Udo. Epe Udo was incredible tonight, by the way. If you watch that game, he had so many deflections. He had blocks. He had like multiple deflections inside where he just guards that pick and roll like a monster. He's incredible on pick and roll defense. He's an absolute gem for the Jazz. And Derek Favors is a warrior. Has the 6 stitches, past concussion protocol, and went out and battled with a Spurs team that is just hard to guard. They're either, you're either guarding LaMarcus Aldridge, who's a tough inside guard who has that kind of that post-up game and that high-release face-up shot, or you're guarding that Bertans, who's an incredible three-point shooter. Just a tough guard to guard the Spurs. Throat hurts from screaming. Let's see, Jeremy Laypath. Until the Rudy and everyone else gets flowing in the offense together, it will be a long season. Yeah, but you know what? Tonight the Jazz were flowing, and they got contributions from everyone, whether it was Thabo Cephalosha, whether it was Jonas Jerebko, who had some big moments in this game, hit a corner three, but had some really nice hustle plays. You could tell just in person how tired Jerebko was. This was the third game in 4 nights. I really hope the Jazz just go to sleep tomorrow, sleep in, take the day off, get some rest, because it's not going to end, and they need that rest to get better and get some wins. For the Jazz, honestly, one of the best things that's going to happen is just have December be over because of how tough the schedule is. We still have to play the Thunder again, and I believe we play Golden State at some point this month too. Just a rough December. Donovan Mitchell was a game time decision tonight. He's so much fun to watch, and that's why when I went to the game tonight, found out he wasn't playing, it was just kind of a bummer, just because Donovan's so much fun, let alone just how vital he is to the Jazz offense. That's just another reason this win was so impressive. It's because Donovan has really been kind of the engine to that offense, and when Donovan plays well, we win, and when Donovan doesn't, we lose by 30, like the Jazz did against the Thunder. And so I just was not expecting this win tonight. Really nice win for the Jazz. They really can feel good about this. They've had 2 wins we did not expect. A win against the Thunder and a win against, or not against the Thunder, a win against Boston and a win against San Antonio. Huge wins. You know, that Bulls loss is going to sting, but the Bulls are, last time I checked, we're on a 6-game winning streak. I don't know if that winning streak has ended, but the Bulls are good right now. So the Jazz stole one from Boston, and they stole one from San Antonio. That's big. You know, that's all you can hope for. That's his best case scenario. And the Jazz aren't going to get a win against the Warriors. Most likely not. I mean, if they do, it'll be crazy, but I doubt it. And then, the Thunder played really well against us. And so the Jazz hopefully can get Donovan back and get a win against them. But just a huge win against a Spurs team that is so well coached. And, upset wins are fun. Go Jazz. All right, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Go to SLC Dunk, read all the articles, read all the stuff. Follow SLC Dunk on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm Hanson James on Twitter. You can go follow me if you'd like. I'll talk to you later.